Okay, we will begin the Planning Committee meeting of Akron City Council. I would respectfully request a roll call.
Fusco.
Aye.
Kamer.
Aye.
Connor. Boyes.
Aye.
Hannah.
Aye.
All committee members are present.
Thank you. I'd like to request a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Very good, the ayes have it. With that, we'll now begin to talk about the process today. We have a number of items that are up for public hearing. We have 5 of them. And the process is that our Mike Antonucci here from the Planning Department will read in a summary of the conditional use requests. After that portion is over, we will then ask Sarah Biviano, our clerk, to swear in any individuals that wish to testify before the committee. We'll then open up the public hearing portion of the public hearing and ask for input from the community. If you could please provide for us your name and address, we'd appreciate that. Afterward, we'll close the public hearing portion, excuse me, and then open up the questions from the committee members. And after that, we'll then open up to questions from all of council. We'll repeat that process again at 5 o'clock tonight. And the only significant differences is that we will make a recommendation. The committee will make a recommendation to all of council, either in favor, against, or to table an item and to take time. So those are the processes that we undergo. And we appreciate everybody being here this afternoon. And I'd like to request that Sarah Biviano please read in the first item that's up for public hearing. Thank you.
The first item up for public hearing today is an ordinance authorizing a conditional use to expand mulch operations at 1669 Copley Road and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Antonucci.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Mario Halassa is requesting permission to retain the recently expanded mulch operations on the rear or south side of the parcel. Since the expanded mulch operations are on residentially zoned property, a conditional use is necessary. Petitioner has stated that the expansion onto a parcel that was formerly farmed by Bessemer Farms allows for better organization of their stockpiling of raw and processed mulch materials. The expansion consists of a grinding stockpile, a wooden brush pile, and 2 mulch stockpiles near the western portion of the rear parcel and east of Shockalog Run. A leaf drop-off area is also located near the northeast corner of the parcel. The petitioner has further stated that no sales will occur on the expanded site and the operations will only take place during daylight hours. The petitioner has prepared a stormwater pollution prevention plan. Additionally, the petitioner has submitted documentation from the Summit County Environmental Health Division and Ohio EPA that the property is in compliance with all Ohio laws regarding mulch operations. To reduce any noise intrusion onto neighboring residential properties, the planning staff supports limiting the hours of operation for any noise-producing activities from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Planning staff agrees that the expansion of mulch activities onto land with limited development potential is an appropriate land use. Akron's Finest Mulch has served the Akron area for many years, and provided the hours of operation are limited, the planning staff and planning commission recommend approval, subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael Antonucci. Will you please swear in anyone who's wishing to testify before the committee? Please, Sarah Biviano.
If you'd like to speak regarding 1669 Copley Road, could you please stand and raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, "I do."
I do.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you. And at this point, we'll open up the public hearing and ask if there's anyone who wishes to testify before the committee. Please step up to the microphone and please provide us your name and address. Thank you. Open up the public hearing.
Hi, my name is Mario Halassa, Akron's Finest Mulch, and I'm here to answer any questions or concerns that people may have about the conditional use.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor or against the proposal? at 1669 Copley Road. Anyone else? Okay, we're not hearing anyone. At this point, what we'll do is we'll open it up to any committee members that may have any questions or comments. Mr. Hanna.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Committee person, Chairperson. We had received information. Where did he go? Yes. We received information this morning, or either last night or either over the weekend, concerning the runoff of the mulch, and it was concerning the veterinarian clinic that's right next door. Also, it was a resident that was concerned that the stench that would be created, additional stench that would be created on their property. Could you address those two issues?
Yeah, so there is a veterinarian clinic a couple doors down, closer to the highway. And in between the veterinarian clinic and our property, there's a culvert it's called Clark-Tell, it's the neighboring property. And what's happened is over the years, the culvert has been collapsed. So it's just a simple fix. They just need to open the culvert back up, and water flow from the veterinarian will be able to flow through that culvert onto my property. So what's happened is I think she's concerned because her property isn't draining correctly, but my property drains fine. So it's just the water flow from there doesn't have the opportunity to get to my property fast enough, is the problem. So we have ditches out front. We don't have culverts for my property. So I think if they just opened that back up and allowed water flow to happen naturally, it would. They sent me an email saying, if I was willing to take precautions to better keep the mulch out of our drains, which is something we do now. But we can use filter socks, we can use bladders that cover the drain top. That way only water, clean water gets through, which is an easy fix. But I think the bigger problem is just the culvert collapsing. And I took a picture of it on my way here. If you guys drive by, you can see it. It just needs addressed by the city. Every now and then, the city used to come and dredge out front. It's been since like 2023 that's happened, so probably that would help, is if they dredged the culverts out front. Proper drainage, and I think it would be an easy solution to her problem, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, sure, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. As far as the smell, we are a Class 4 composting facility. We are not allowed to take food waste. We can't take manure. We can't take any of that stuff. So we just take natural wood waste. We have to process that and turn it and move it off site. So in order for that to happen, we need our permits and regulations, and we try to do our best with making that happen and following those procedures. We get checked by Summit County Public Health. We get checked by the EPA. So as far as that goes, the smell is sometimes a byproduct of mulch. But we try to eliminate that by moving it off-site, and processing it yearly. So,
Thank you.
yep, you're welcome.
Thanks. Further questions or comments from any committee members? Any council members have any questions or comments? Excuse me, at this time? Anyone? Not seeing anyone. We'll now move on to the second item that's up for the public hearing today. And of course, we'll invite you back this evening at 5 o'clock if you'd like to attend, either in person or via Zoom. You're welcome to do so. Thank you. You can coordinate with the office here. Thanks. Mr. Antonucci.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members.
Would you like me to read that in first? Sure. The second item up for public hearing is an ordinance amending Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 153 Zoning Code, Article 8, On-Premises Exterior Signs, to add Section 153.347, Signs in the Downtown, and supplement Sections 153.350, Restricted and Prohibited Signs and Locations, and 153.360, Permitted Sign Area, amending Title 15 Land Use, Chapter 153 Zoning Code, Article 11, Board of Zoning Appeals, to supplement Section 153.409, Additional Jurisdiction of Board Applications, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Antonucci?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. The City of Akron is proposing to amend the zoning code requirements regarding signs in the downtown by applying the Akron form-based zoning code sign regulations to the area. The on-premises exterior sign section of the current legacy zoning code can be challenging for the public to understand and interpret. In addition, projecting signs in the downtown require conditional use approval. These regulatory hurdles discourage the installation of signage types that are desirable in a vibrant downtown business district. Applying the form-based code sign regulations downtown will clarify and simplify the requirements for the area. In contrast to the current text-heavy zoning sign code, the sign section of the form-based code provides graphic examples of various sign types, clear tables showing all requirements, and diagrams depicting how to measure sign sizes. This format provides regulatory transparency to the public. In addition, the text changes will allow business owners to install sign types that bring interest and desired character to the downtown. The current legacy code allows a total area of flush mount wall signage of 2 square feet of sign area per lineal foot of building frontage, and a maximum area for a projecting sign, if projecting over the right-of-way, of 36 square feet. The form-based sign code regulations reduce the total for wall signs to 1.5 square feet per lineal foot of building frontage, but the maximum area for a projecting sign is increased to 50 square feet. These changes encourage signs to have more visibility and visual appeal to pedestrians on the sidewalk. The city's goal is to promote downtown as a vibrant business district with traditional storefronts that provide visual interest and encourage walking. The proposed text changes will enable the installation of building signs that help achieve this goal. The proposed changes will also further the city's goal of providing clear, predictable, and streamlined regulations to the public. And both the planning staff and planning commission recommend approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Antonucci. At this time, we'll swear in any individuals that wish to testify before the committee. If they could please stand and be sworn in by Sarah Viviano.
If you're here to speak for this public hearing, could you please stand and raise your right hand? We do not have any speakers for this public hearing.
Okay, we'll still open up the public hearing, ask if there's anyone wishing to speak. Anyone? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing portion, ask if there's any committee members with any questions this time. Yes, Tina Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just so I am clear, we are applying the form-based code that exists in places like Kenmore Boulevard to the downtown, because I know in the past, we referred to the downtown signage code as part of the signage code related to the form base on Kenmore Boulevard. Has that been changed so that both have their own and they're the same, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so both of them do. This makes everything standard where we've applied that form-based code, requirement and the look. So this would be the same for Kenmore Boulevard as well. So the overlays will also go to the form-based zoning code. So this is, the downtown we're bringing that in as well.
Okay, so I may have misunderstood. In the past, I thought the Kenmore form-based code had referred readers to the downtown code.
It did initially, and then we changed it more recently to allow projecting signs on Kenmore Boulevard, and that's what we're trying to do now to downtown.
Irrespective. I just want to speak in support of this because we fought really hard for that. I know at least one small business owner that could not afford to get a $300 basic projecting sign because of all the cost and legwork that goes into this. So, sign designers are not necessarily sign experts all the time, so to put this nice and clear in code would be great. Thank you.
Very good. Further questions or comments from any committee members and or council members? I just have one question, and that is so if somebody would like to have a sign that's going to vary from what the form base says, what's their options? Do they have any options?
Yeah, so what we're doing what we do in the form base now is that we have the Board of Zoning Appeals look at that. So that
Not
would
council, it's a form?
It's Board of Zoning Appeals.
And not council?
That's correct.
Okay. So if somebody wants an oversized sign, it goes to the Board of Zoning Appeals, not council. Mr. Bolden?
typically in a lot of, thank you, Mr. Chairman, typically in a lot of zoning issues, if it doesn't get passed in the zoning appeals, there's options sometimes to go to council for conditional zoning. Is there any conditional zoning at all for signage?
Well, I think if you, yeah, so for billboards and things like that, there would be, like electric message centers, that kind of thing.
But
That
for-
would end up going for
Right,
conditional
but for a
use.
business somewhere that
For a
wants to do
business
that,
who
it's
wants
zoning-
to-
Zoning appeals and that's it.
That's right.
No council at all.
That's correct.
Just want to
Okay.
make sure everybody's aware of that.
Okay.
Very good. We'll have a public hearing this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Next item.
The next item up for public hearing today is an ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a dual-use marijuana dispensary at 1960 West Market Street and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Antonucci.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Tango Ventures LLC is seeking permission to establish a dual-use marijuana dispensary, Clutch Cannabis, at this location. The petitioner proposes to renovate the existing 1,490 square foot single-story flat roof building. Submitted site plans indicate a delivery area with 7 parking spaces to the east. 2 additional parking spaces are provided south of the building. The existing parking lot to the south will contain 19 angled spaces. Ingress will be through the existing northern drive apron on Frank Boulevard, with the southern curb cut along Frank Boulevard designed for egress. A 6 feet in height solid wooden fence will be installed along the southwestern property line. Both street frontages will be landscaped. The exterior walls of the building will be painted black, while the stone coping will remain as is. The 4 light fixtures and awnings on the front of the building will remain. Signage will consist of block lettering reading Clutch Cannabis and measuring 24 square feet in area. The petitioner intends to operate the dispensary daily from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. The petitioner recently received conditional use approval to construct a new marijuana dispensary building on the abutting vacant lot at 1956 West Market Street. However, a relocation agreement has been reached with Pink Petals Florist, so the petitioner now proposes to renovate the existing building and establish a parking area to the east. As such, this proposal will now provide an additional 6 off-street parking spaces. The petitioner has further stated that there will be no major changes to the business operations of the previously approved use. This new proposal to renovate an existing building is harmonious with the goals of the Land Use and Development Guide Plan and amended Wallhaven redevelopment area, which include encouraging the renovation or redevelopment of older neighborhood business districts. Further, the proposed parking area will improve a decade-long vacant lot at the heavily traveled intersection, while the proposed improvements to the existing southern parking area will be harmonious with the abutting uses. And both planning staff and planning commission recommend approval subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Sarah Biviano to please swear in any individuals that wish to testify before the committee.
If you're here to speak for 1960 West Market Street public hearing, could you please stand and raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, "I do." I do. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now open up the public hearing portion and ask if there's anyone here that wishes to testify before the committee to please step up to the microphone and please provide for us your name and address. Thank you.
Thank you all. Peter Nisht, also go by Pete, 1951 Wiltshire Road, Akron, Ohio, 44313, just a minute from this location. I told this joke to Planning Commission and it went over well, so I'm going to go for 2 for 2. I know I have a reputation for being a little bit long-winded up here. I'm going to spare you guys that today. And the reason why is that, as you heard, not much is really changing here. We are, the reason why we're back before you, why we were back before Planning Commission, is that we had a conditional use permit to operate this proposed dispensary at 1956 West Market Street. At that time, I think the last time we were before you, we explained that we had the building that Pink Petals is currently occupying under contract. Once the conditional use permit was approved, we were able to kind of move forward with that plan. As you heard, we have a relocation agreement with them. We're facilitating a move to an equal spot in the area. That is going to happen a little ways down the road here, but essentially, The only thing that's changing now, the reason why we need another conditional use permit is the current one only encompasses part of the parcel that we would be operating under and not 1960 West Market Street where we're now proposing to house the dispensary. So we think this plan is better. Planning Commission thought it was better. I'm sure you guys have site plans. I have copies here if you'd like, but essentially this is, as you heard, more off-street parking. We're going to be rehabilitating that parking lot, bringing it up to code. We've been working with planning staff on ways to do that. There's going to be green space, landscaping, that sort of thing. It'll look really nice. So I'm here really just to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Is there anyone else here wishing to testify before the committee? Anyone else? Anyone online? I'm not seeing anyone, so we'll close the public hearing portion and open up to any questions from any committee members, any council members at this time. Any questions or comments? Mr. Bolden?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Understand that exactly what this is. It was before us back in July, August, I believe, or before August, for the building on the parking lot. And when I knew they were working with Gina, who runs Pink Petals, and I haven't talked to her, but I understand that they are working with her, and that's important because she is a really nice lady and does a lot of business there. Wants to stay in the area, and appreciate you working with her. The neighbors, for me, when I throw this thing out to hear what people say, and the majority of the neighbors in my ward that spoke about it were against it. I understand these issues. I understand that the city has zones where we can put dispensaries in, and we've created these zones, and if you fit those zones. But I also know that my neighbors are still a little apprehensive on what's going on here. So I'd like to talk with them a little bit more about this, show them these plans. You're right. I believe the parking is better. You're not going back into that across the street, especially the drapery workroom area back there, so you're not crossing the street. There doesn't look like any new curb cuts. So I'd like to think about this a little bit myself, but I appreciate you coming in and explaining with the site plans of what you're doing. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments at this time? Linda Mobian?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Bolden, I appreciate your comments. I live around the corner from this location as well. All of the neighbors that I've spoken with are against this. I just want to make sure I'm real clear on what we're talking about now. Are we talking about the florist moving or staying there? Or what are we talking about? Is the location, the building itself, is this going to be the same? I know there's a parking lot there on the side as well as in the back of this building. So could Mr. Nish explain exactly what he's referring to?
Or perhaps Mr. Antonucci could answer either one.
Either one.
So the location for the dispensary will now be where the florist was, so that they will be utilizing that space and not building a new building.
So did the florist, do you know, Mr. Bolden, if they found another location?
My understanding is they're working with the Councilman Mobian. They are working with the florist and help relocate them to a different facility. They did contract. The florist did not own that building. That's the first thing.
I know that.
So
Yeah, I know that.
so it was purchased, but the big difference here is the building was going to be where the parking lot is now, and when they purchased they're working on the relocation of her lease, and I believe her lease isn't up until June or July, I believe, of this year, so she can pretty much stay there, or they have to buy her out of the lease, and they are actively working with her to find another location. I agree with you. The neighbors in the area don't want it. They didn't want it before, but the thing is, it did pass.
Yeah, I know that. Thank you.
And we have to be mindful of that also.
Yeah.
So they are working with Gina on the property, on finding her a new location, because she does want to stay in business a few more years.
Sure. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Chair, if I'm allowed to
Yes.
proceed, please. Will the building be expanding or will it just be the size that it is now?
We'll
Mr.
let
Antonucci, do you know?
you could answer this one, Mr. Nish.
Yeah, thank you. The building will not be expanding. So
Okay.
we're going to be operating within the four walls of the existing building.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Phil Lombardo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like if Mr. Nitch could touch on, when dispensaries go in the neighborhood, obviously, as we heard, maybe the neighbors don't like that, but it did pass. But could Mr. Nitch touch on the security of the building? Because I believe from his last conversations coming to chambers that these buildings are more secure, improve the security of the neighborhood, and makes it better for all. Even sometimes the APD relies on them if there's situations in the area because they have cameras all around. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Nish.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, so as we have probably explained before, these are built like fortresses. So the state of Ohio, wanted to make sure that everything went perfect, I guess, related to the marijuana market and the facilities within it. And so essentially what you have is on-site security. We have 24/7 camera coverage, really inside and outside of the dispensary. We're required to have complete camera coverage, no blind spots, multiple angles. And we're required at minimum to keep the footage from all those cameras. It's pretty expensive to operate the system, but for at least 45 days in the cloud. And what that has done in the areas that dispensaries operate is it's actually improved security and reduced crime. And there is now evidence of that. I think that the planning department has, APD took a look at this as well. And what we found is that the footage, because these facilities are so heavily surveilled, the footage is actually proven to be a resource in a number of different instances for local communities. So it is, if there is crime in the area, usually crime stops pretty quickly because it's so easy to apprehend suspects and to prove out what happened. Even for safety-related incidents, so car accidents, things like that, a lot of times we're able to provide footage that wouldn't exist any other way.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Bruce Bolden.
One question, Mr. Nitch. Looking at this, and I'm looking at the map, I'm trying to figure out where is the main door to go in? Is it on Market? Is it off of the parking lot? Is it off the alley? I'm just trying to figure
The main door is where it is currently, which is in the rear, not Market Street facing. It's on the what you would probably refer to as the rear of the building where it exists now.
Okay. And there is 6 parking spots, I think, in that parking lot directly
Yes.
East of it?
Yeah, so we have added, and so there are additional parking spots. There's 28 total now on site. With the added parking space, we were able to add another accessibility spot and then additional parking for everybody else.
And the residents also, the residents that live closest to that, that parking was not available because that was where the building was. So the parking was actually closer to the neighborhood. We still have parking close to the neighborhood there, but there are 6 spots that are further away from the neighborhood. So just saying that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Further questions or comments at this time? I'm not seeing any, so of course we'll invite you back this evening at 5 o'clock if you'd like to be in person or Zoom in. Next item, Sarah Biviano.
The next item up for public hearing today is an ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish additional parking for medical offices at 539 White Pond on property fronting Parkgate Avenue and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Antonucci.
Yes, DRK Partners LLC, an oral surgery practice, is the owner of the medical office building at 539 White Pond Drive and property on the south side of Parkgate Avenue, east of White Pond Drive. The petitioner's initial request to raise a house and establish a parking area in this residential use district was recommended for disapproval by planning staff and denied by City Council. The petitioner has now made significant changes to the original site plan and is requesting to reopen their petition to extend the parking lot from the existing office building along White Pond Drive onto the property in a residential district that has frontage along Parkgate Avenue. The petitioner has stated that a portion of the medical office building at 539 White Pond Drive, built in 2020, remains vacant due to a limited amount of parking. Over the past year, they have met with the councilperson and residents along Parkgate Avenue to discuss the expansion of their business parking into the neighborhood. The updated site plan depicts 20 paved parking spaces set 40 feet back from Parkgate Avenue, as opposed to the original setback distance of 25 feet. A short driveway will connect the new parking with the existing business parking lot. The new lot will also connect with the garage that's on the property. Additional changes include a landscape mound of trees and shrubs located between the parking lot and street that extend almost the entire length of the property. A solid fence will be erected on the east property line, while the property on the west will be screened from the lot by a row of burning bushes. A sign will be erected within a landscape bed along Parkgate Avenue to identify the neighborhood. While the planning staff initially recommended the expanded parking area occupy the retention pond location east of their current parking lot on the petitioner's current site, it was agreed upon that this option would unduly impose on the neighbor at 1974 Parkgate Avenue. The well-designed added parking will assist this longstanding Akron oral surgery practice to remain in the city by allowing it to grow while adding professional jobs and services to the public. And both the planning staff and planning commission recommend approval subject to the conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll ask if there's anyone here wishing to testify before the committee. Please be sworn in from our representative, Sarah Biviano.
Could you please? Thank you. Is there anyone else here in the audience that would like to speak on this public hearing? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. At this point, we'll open up the public hearing portion and ask if you'd like to speak before the committee. If you could please provide for us your name and address. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fusco. I'm Bob Constant. I'm the attorney for the applicant. My address is 2166 Charles Lane, Akron, Ohio, 44333. As Mr. Antonucci stated, we did apply about a year ago. There was a lot of resident opposition at that time. At the suggestion of both Mr. Julian and Jan Davis, the council person for that ward, they urged us to really meet with the neighbors and try to work with them. That was an ideal solution. I commend them both. We had several meetings, but one big meeting with the neighbors at the site, and we listened to them and tried to accommodate everything that they asked for. And I think we've been able to resolve it through Councilwoman Davis's help, and I learned a lesson. This was a good way to get things resolved. So we're back before you. We've made substantial changes, and we would ask for your recommendation to approve, and I can answer any questions if
Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ask if there's anyone else here wishing to testify before the committee. Anyone else? I'm not seeing or hearing anyone, so with that, we'll close the public hearing portion, open up to any committee members that may have questions or comments. All I want to say is that I did speak to Councilperson Jan Davis. Unfortunately, she's under the weather today, but she is in favor. She's been telling me as this has progressed, and as it's great that a ward council person can get involved and help with regards to these issues. So thank you very much and appreciate your comments.
No, we really thank her for being able to connect us with the neighbors and get things worked out.
It helps.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you. Further questions or comments from anyone? Tina Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There was a mention of the retention pond that was originally required. Is that no longer required? Have there been landscaping changes that assist with that? Just curious.
Right, so that one of our ideas, the proposal initially was that they occupy or put the retention underground under the parking area and expand the parking on their current site. But that was presented to the neighborhood, and the direct neighbor to the east there was definitely opposed, and we agree that it would have been more of an imposition than this solution. So this is the best solution.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for your work, Mr. Julian, on this as well. Any other questions or comments at this time? Not seeing any. So what we'll do is we'll move forward to the next item and hope to see you at 5 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The final item up for public hearing today is an ordinance approving the Archwood redevelopment plan, making necessary findings in connection therewith and declaring an emergency.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Planning Committee members. The proposed Archwood redevelopment area is approximately located east of Kelly Avenue between Archwood Avenue and Triplet Boulevard. The Goodyear campus is located to the north and east, and Akron Fulton Airport is located to the south. The redevelopment area also includes Joy Park. A railroad right-of-way bisects the area on a north-south axis. The redevelopment area consists of 156 parcels occupying approximately 176 acres. The proposed redevelopment area is primarily developed with industrial and commercial properties. A few retail uses are located along the north side of Archwood Avenue, and 4 single-family homes are located within the area. The area also contains 26-acre Joy Park. Within the area, WM, formerly Waste Management, is investing approximately $16 million in pursuing the development of a state-of-the-art waste transfer facility on vacant property located at 1400 East Archwood Avenue. LKQ Triplet ASAP is undertaking a significant expansion north on property previously occupied by Goodyear. Surrounding land use includes single-family homes, apartments, commercial, and industrial development. Existing zoning consists of single-family, retail, commercial, and ordinary industry, and numerous conditional uses have also been approved in the area. The Archwood redevelopment plan contains a description of properties, area boundaries, and a statement of objectives for the project area. The area contains vacant land and underutilized space. This redevelopment plan establishes goals for future development and gives the city the opportunity to utilize tax increment financing under provisions of the Ohio Revised Code. Existing zoning will not be changed. It is in the interest of the city of Akron to provide opportunities for businesses to create jobs for residents of the city. The proposed redevelopment plan will assist in facilitating new development and generating revenue to assist in future development. Planning staff and Planning Commission recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Mulhauser. At this time, I'd like to request Sarah Biviano please swear in any individuals who wish to testify before the committee today.
If you're here for this public hearing, could you please stand and raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, "I do."
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, we'll open up the public hearing portion and ask if there's anyone wishing to speak for the committee. If you could please provide for us your name and address. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Fusco. My name is Pastor Mark Tibbs. I'm the pastor at Centenary United Methodist Church, 1310 Superior Avenue here in the city of Akron. I stand before you with respect to this particular redevelopment plan. We recognize as an organization, the Akron Community Action Network. We have met with many of the affected stakeholders in the area of the proposed development, as well as stakeholders who are adjacent to the existing trash transfer facility that Waste Management operates. We've talked with those residents and stakeholders, and they have some concerns regarding community benefits. We recognize also that this is a follow-on to the work that you all are doing with respect to tax increment financing and generally, as you indicated, generally improving the economic outlook in this said area. What troubles us, if there's anything, is the mention of the development agreement that will be signed between the city of Akron and Waste Management. The redevelopment plan on pages 7 and 8 talk about what the development agreement will include, and it names some specific caveats, if you will. We have been told at Akron Can by the Mayor's Office of Sustainability that Waste Management has agreed to include yet to be negotiated community benefits into said development plan. Our concern is that this redevelopment plan doesn't mention those benefits. Of course, we recognize that that's an ongoing negotiation, but when you name instances or when you name things that will be included in the development agreement and you leave out community benefits, we're concerned whether or not Waste Management is negotiating in good faith. That's our first concern. Our second concern is on page 9 of the redevelopment plan, which details the 30-year duration that the city will be working to improve economic conditions in that area. Our concern is this also reflecting an intention to enter into a 30-year agreement with Waste Management, in which case Waste Management typically, I think the last agreement was for 25 years, and to lock in for such a lengthy duration, we don't think necessarily works in the interests of the general community and the stakeholders. Finally, there also seems to be no real movement that we can tell on the negotiations regarding community benefits. And in this particular redevelopment plan, or I'm talking about so many different things. Of course, the Archwood redevelopment plan mentions the development agreement that is to come. And that development agreement also doesn't indicate that there is any room for citizen input with respect to the waste management operation of this trash facility. And so what we're here to find out from you is council prepared to hold Waste Management to task for including, again, yet to be negotiated community benefits as a particular part of the development agreement? Had the development agreement not been mentioned in the redevelopment plan, we would trust that the negotiation process would be ongoing. But in as much as the redevelopment plan mentions the development agreement and it leaves out the community benefits, we're concerned about that. And so that would be, our only resistance to you moving forward with this.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here wishing to speak in favor or against this proposal?
I'm sorry, let me just say that these are some of the members of our Community Action Network, Reverend Mike Farmer, Reverend Ron Schultz, and Brother Arel T. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm not here alone.
Okay, thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor or against this proposal? Anyone? Hearing, seeing, no one. At this point, we'll close the public hearing. However, you're all invited back this evening at 5 o'clock. We always like to have guests and input. So thank you very much for coming this afternoon. Appreciate that. We'll close the public hearing portion, though, and open up to any committee members that may have questions or comments. Mr. Volleman, I see you're ready to answer some questions. And then, oh, you want to start? You could start, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This has been an ongoing question and answer situation for about over a year and a half. And I just want to know if the citizens will come out on top of this agreement. And also, for 30 years, as Reverend Pitts brought up, how will that affect the residents in that area? I am happy that Joy Park will be included in this redevelopment area. I am also happy that the citizens on Betty Street finally will get that waste transfer station moved out. I was very happy about that, but I was unhappy about the fact that it still was in Ward 5. And it was voted on to keep it in Ward 5, not by myself, and I voted against it then, and I will vote against it again this evening. So I just want to know, how will the citizens benefit in the coming years, when we are no longer here, how will they benefit from that redevelopment plan?
I see Mr. Volleman is
Yeah,
ready to
I
answer.
think
Go ahead.
I want to try to bring the focus back to what you have in front of you, which I understand, Councilman Hanna, your opposition to the project in the first place. But that council has approved, and the plaintiffs in that lawsuit have settled that lawsuit, paving the way for Waste Management to go forward. This is the way that we can capture money in order to benefit the area. The tax increment financing would be going, it redirects real estate taxes, and we would be able to, and it will come, I get Pastor Tibbs's reluctance, but it's going to come to you guys 2 more times when there is a development agreement negotiated. That will come to City Council. And then the TIF itself would come to City Council after the construction is done, because you need to know what the incremental increase in value is, and then it would apply for it. But this is not approving I think, and I'm speculating, but I think that the language about the development agreement is generic. It's not specific. It would be any property that's in the plan, and it's in all of our plans as well. And those are just requirements that you can't discriminate, you have to follow zoning, et cetera.
Yes. Yeah,
So.
and they're state promulgated?
Well, not necessarily.
No?
Our zoning is our promulgation, and we ask, I don't know that we're required to say people won't discriminate, but we do.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. The, also, but that's a state mandate, correct?
Well,
In terms
in
of
general,
having this development agreement.
Oh, yes, so the
Have it.
development plan, and I think that's part of it, redevelopment, development plan, agreement, et cetera.
Yeah.
In order to do a 41 TIF, and council authorized the transfer of the land before break, I think, maybe
it was.
right before, after break. And there are 2 things that have to happen. You have to be a municipal corporation engaged in urban redevelopment at the time you acquire the property. So they look at that engaged in urban redevelopment to mean a redevelopment plan. I don't think that's exactly what the code says, and we argued 20 years ago, Ms. Forfey and I argued down to Columbus about, we're obviously a municipal corporation engaged in urban redevelopment.
Yes.
We've been doing it since 1960, but
Yeah.
they said you need to have a plan, so that's what this is.
In terms of a community benefit agreement, it seems that I know this went to court, and there was a decision made by a judge in terms of what is consists of in terms of the law with regards to the zoning, and it was negotiated by everyone. So.
I don't know that, again, some people were parties to that lawsuit, some were not.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing of it is someone brought it to court.
Yeah.
Somebody did. And also within our ordinance, I know that Mr. Hanna did vote against it, but there was things that was added, I believe, that protected the community in terms of a conditional use zoning. And there was some requirements that was mentioned as well.
I am not an expert in the settlement agreement.
Neither am I.
Yeah,
I'm just
I was
asking.
not involved. There were obligations put on Waste Management to the benefit of the community in that settlement agreement. I know that Director Shevlin is talking to Waste Management about other things.
Yeah,
that can
and there's
be
other
included.
things.
But we're just not there yet.
Yeah, right. Fran Wilson.
Thank you, Chair. My understanding, I skimmed the settlement. Thank you for sending that. My understanding is those are separate things. The organizing around CAN is separate. And I guess my main question is there anything, is it not possible to include, at least in writing on the current legislation, to put in there that we'd like to see a community benefits agreement?
I just don't think it's germane to the piece of legislation.
I think, if I may just respond, I think there's a lot of things in the obligations section and the other sections under, between page 7 and 9 that are also similarly in that realm of not necessarily directly included, but, I think it relates. Just wanted to give my personal feedback.
Yeah, this is referencing TIF. You're referencing a community benefit agreement. So I think that's kind of apples and oranges. Is that what I'm hearing?
I agree, and plus urging the administration to do something would be more of a resolution.
Yeah, a
than an
resolution
ordinance.
could be done.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. Happy to.
Here,
We did.
let me just say this. Our understanding from the Mayor's Office of Sustainability is that waste management, over and above the settlement of the lawsuit, has agreed to include whatever community benefits are negotiated, to include those benefits in the development agreement. Our position is simply this: inasmuch as you mentioned the development agreement in this redevelopment plan, what's missing is just a reference that there will be community benefits also included in that development plan. We're not pushing for any specific benefits. We're just saying if in fact Waste Management has agreed to include them in the plan. And let me just add, we're tossing this term around, community benefit agreement, which is a legally binding thing. Waste Management has agreed not to enter into a community benefit agreement, but to simply include community benefits, however they're negotiated, into the development agreement. We're just here saying we don't see that in the reference to the development agreement in the redevelopment plan.
Gotcha. I think I understand now. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to tell you and everyone here, before we voted on it, I talked to Waste Management about benefits for the community. I was one of those guys. So just to let you know, and I believe that whenever the administration says we're going to do something such as negotiate with Waste Management, and I know there has been meetings, I'd heard that there's meetings.
Yeah.
Casey Shevelin has been involved with those, with you all as well. So I believe it's going to go forward because it's been going forward and there has been meetings.
Right.
Yes.
And again,
I'm sorry.
it is not a reference to the development agreement. It's for all the parcels included in the
Yes, thank you.
redevelopment plan. So if we were to put something in there, then it would be a requirement for every other development in the area, and I would not recommend that.
Amen. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'm so sorry to
It's
the
okay.
boys.
So that was what I was going to mention and make sure I was clear on. So anything written to the terms would apply to every parcel in that
Correct.
particular redevelopment. So is there a reason we need to include language about waste management in any of this?
Waste management is the main generator of the TIF for now because they're the one doing the investment. So the only reference to waste management in here is that it's located in the area and they're investing in the property. The other references to development agreements just have to do on any property that the city owns within the area that gets sold or leased within the next 30 years. Just this plan applies to any of those properties. The city really doesn't own that much property in the area right now.
One more.
I was just going to say, I understand all that. What I'm saying is, if this is getting confusing and feeling like we're not fulfilling all of the pieces of the waste management development agreement or, community benefits agreement, why does it even need to be mentioned when it's implied?
The waste management?
Correct.
That was just, I didn't want to be remiss in not including waste management and things that are happening in the area just like the other business in the area that's also expanding. It's kind of just background information in terms of the plan.
Yeah, and it is under background, so it's trying to give an overview of the area, what's there, it mentions LKQ.
I didn't want to leave,
yeah.
we just didn't want to leave it out of the plan because I think that would be a bit of an omission.
Yeah.
Then people kind of say it's not even mentioned in here what's happening in the area. But it's kind of the waste management development agreement is a totally different thing than this.
Yes,
Which will come to you.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think
we are.
And we could talk after.
Redevelopment plan on page 7 reads, the sale or lease agreement or development agreement, the development agreement, not a development agreement. If it read that way, we'd have no problem with it. But we're just concerned that when you name the specifics of what will be included in the development agreement, it almost seems like this is a closed loop and that the community benefits somehow are overlooked here. I don't doubt that the city isn't negotiating in good faith with Waste Management. We were pleased to hear that Waste Management had agreed to include community benefits in the development agreement. Our only concern is it just doesn't show up here in writing. And this, if you pass it, will be enforceable. And if there are no community benefits included in it now, then how can we trust that they'll be included later? That's all our only concern. We're not trying to castigate anybody here. We just want to know if the city has agreed, then either take all of this out and don't mention a development agreement at all, or at least if you could even put in a generic way, any community benefits negotiated with any developer would also be included in the agreement and not make any specific reference to waste management. That's all we're concerned about.
Thank you, Sean.
Again, we will be back. We will be, I know.
Development
This
agreement.
is just not the proper vehicle for that.
We could talk after. Well, we're going to talk tomorrow, too. So. Thank you so much for coming down, and maybe we could clear up some questions and such and keep moving forward. So eventually we'll get these folks moved and things will, but we will have oh, I'm so sorry, Linda Mobian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I certainly hear what's being requested, and I'm just curious as to, is there any way that we can confer with the law department to even add an addendum of some kind? Because, you know, when things are not in writing, there's always a question as to whether we're really committed to it. So I am just as concerned as Reverend Tibbs and his group, because I know they've investigated this, and the community benefit agreement includes whatever the parties agree to include in it, based on the ones that I've seen that they presented, that the Waste Management and other organizations have developed. So I am in favor of us doing some kind of addendum. If we could check on that for this evening, that would be great. I have voted in favor of this, but I do have my concerns at this point. Thank you.
I have to log in again. But I would prefer Sean to answer. I think this is just that it's a separate, totally,
Yes.
This is TIF only, right?
This is the vehicle that will create a pot of money that can be used towards community benefits. Without this, that pot of money does not exist.
Exactly. So, and this is by law what we have to do. We have to
Absolutely, by the
agree to this.
revised code.
And all the parcels and the mappage, I don't know if that's a word, but the map that's used, you know, and so I think that's, and identifying the parcels themselves, and we have to jump in and out of title and the whole thing. So this is the one step in many in terms of legislatively that we're going to be going through. But we all will be watching as the negotiation moves forward, and I know that that's been, so yeah. So Linda, I hope that answers your question. I don't know if it does.
I hear what you're saying, but is there any way just to mention in writing what you said?
In writing? I think we'll see it whenever we see the development agreement, we'll see that in writing. Whenever that portion's negotiated.
But that's going to come after we vote on this tonight.
Yeah,
Well,
this is just the TIF.
I I understand the concerns that they're expressing, though.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other further questions or comments? Again, we will have a meeting at 5 o'clock. We're going to talk about this all over again. So just joking and teasing. But in all sincerity, thank you for coming down and all your interest in this. It's been a long time in the making, especially in terms of those folks off of Exchange Street that has been dealing with this. So appreciate your interest, and we'll have that public hearing at 5 o'clock. You're invited to come back in person and/or online. Thank you so much for coming down. We'll move on to the balance of the agenda, short of any other questions or comments from anyone. Not seeing or hearing any. We'll move on to the regular list of legislation, of which I'm going to recommend time, and we'll now move into the new list of legislation. And Sarah Biviano, can you please read in the first item for us?
Sure.
Thank you.
The first item in Planning and Economic Development under new legislation is item number 3. It's an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into an agreement or agreements with Stowe BMX Association Incorporated to extend the term of its bicycle motocross BMX facility lease at the Akron Fulton Airport and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Yes.
Sure.
Mr. Bowman.
I am
again.
happy. So Stowe BMX does business as Akron BMX, but the name of the organization that's been around for decades is Stowe BMX. Right now, we have a lease agreement for them at the track to run through 2026. We still think ultimately that property could be developed, but we're in a position where we can allow them to stay through 2027. So we'd like permission to extend that lease through 2027
Very good.
under the same terms.
Same terms? Nothing changes? Further questions or comments from anyone? Fran Wilson.
Sorry, I'm actually kind of in this scene a little bit. I know we've had a couple conversations. So this is just an extension. My hope is, I just want to vocalize, my hope is that we'll work with the current lease and the skate park folks if anything comes down the pipeline well in advance. It's a very, very tight-knit community. Yes, there's been, some emergencies and maybe some misconduct and stuff around the area, but it is a really lovely place where a lot of young folks hang out, and it's one of very few skate areas for young folks. So I just wanted to vocalize that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else with any? Tina Boys.
Thank you. I just want to echo what Councilperson said about the community. They're nervous every year.
I know.
And I know this because they've been working on a project with us over in Kenmore. They think they're going to be pretty much evicted, towards the end of every year. So I appreciate that. I know our goal is to make sure there's places for them to go other than just one single place outside of, unconnected to some of the neighborhoods. So hopefully by doing some of the things we're doing, it will help lessen that a little bit. Thank you.
One of the things the BMX folks were very excited about, they have a national event coming this year. A couple years ago, I think, during COVID, it's outside, so it helps, I guess. But they raised, the economic impact was estimated about $7 million for the area the last time they had a national event.
2015, they may have had a national thing here. I recall. So yeah, cool. It is. It's a good thing for our community. Just the safety piece and some of those concerns. It's a tough thing to iron out. But anyways, very good. Is consent agenda okay on this?
Yes, that'd be great.
Any questions or comments? Any further? Is there a recommendation for consent?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Item number 4.
Item number 4 is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into an agreement or agreements with Buckingham, Doolittle, and Burroughs LLC or its designated entity in support of its relocation to the city of Akron and declaring an emergency.
Yes.
Why not?
Mr.
And this
Volleman,
one-
you're up today. It's a Volleman show.
If you know a little bit about my background, you know why this is very important to me, this piece of legislation. I started my legal career at Buckingham 27 years ago. Oh, gosh, 27 years ago. But Buckingham was founded in 1913, and one interesting thing I found during a little research was that one of the founding members was Frank Rockwell, who was a mayor of Akron back, and I found his picture on the wall. He's one of the first ones not to have a drawing
but to have an actual photo up
Okay.
on the wall of mayors. And Buckingham has served the Akron, Canton, Cleveland areas ever since, with a focus on the client coming first. We are thrilled that they have decided to move back downtown Akron to the AES building at 388 South Main. The administration is asking for authorization to enter into 2 agreements that were detailed in a letter of understanding. One would be a $50,000 business retention and expansion grant that comes from the funds that are allocated every year to economic development for those purposes. And the second one would be a job creation grant that would be tied to new payroll, percentage of new payroll, as we do a fair amount of times. Chris Niekamp from Buckingham is here.
Yes.
And I think I'd like to say a couple words.
Yeah, we had talked and requested to speak before the committee, and I certainly appreciate that. Welcome back, as you know the song goes, and we certainly appreciate you all committing to Akron. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Chris.
you, committee chairman and council members present. I appreciate your support, appreciate the city of Akron's support. We've been looking for about a year and a half at all locations that are available in Fairlawn and city of Akron and the surrounding areas, and it's been a very thorough review. It was very divisive, actually, between our firm in trying to make the decision, although it ended up being unanimous support by our executive committee when we finally made it. And I think AES, the AES building, is an ideal site for us. First of all, I wanted to drive 20 minutes downtown and deal with Flowbird and figure out how to get in here, but I'm looking forward to that. And I think for our office, we are an in-office associate firm and have our employees, we believe that they need to be in the office in order to develop them, in order to develop our firm and especially our younger associates. And I think it's invaluable. I grew up working here in town, downtown. I'm a downtown person. You've probably seen me around, but I certainly will be happy to be back, just to be able to walk to places like this, to restaurants, to do the towpath at lunch, to go for a run. I mean, we don't have that out in Fairlawn. As Chris Hardesty said, if you want to just drive to Arby's for lunch, you're in the right spot. But we welcome, and I think he was right. The AES is a beautiful building. It's got natural features. It's an artistic building. It's got natural light. We're going to put $1.7 to $2 million to renovate it even more, to get it up to our likings. We're going to have beautiful conference space. You know, the law business is very competitive these days. We compete for employees, for clients, and for our key staff. So having a place to make them feel welcome, and healthy, their mental health, physical health, that's important to us, and I think this space offers that. So we appreciate your support. We couldn't have done it without the City of Akron's support. It was a close decision, and that helped put it over the top. So it was very important to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate y'all and coming back to Akron, downtown Akron, of course. And thank you so much. A great addition for us, and hopefully it's going to be a good experience for you all. I know it will be. And
Yes.
Thank you, Sean. I know you're involved in this, and appreciate you joining us. And
Sure.
It's all good.
Happy to come down. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, Mr. Niekamp. Thanks. Yes, Tina Boys.
Thank you. I'm going to one-up Mr. Volman here. My family started at Buckingham. I was an intern in 1997, and my husband ran the warehouse down at Canal Place. So you're returning to the scene of the crime. Congratulations, and thank you for coming back to Akron.
Thank you so much.
I was an intern in 95.
Further questions or comments from anyone? Suspension of the rules okay on this one?
Oh, suspension of the rules would be amazing.
I think it's only appropriate, absolutely. Is there a motion?
So move.
There's a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, the ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 5.
Item number 5 is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into and execute the Summit County Intergovernmental memorandum of understanding for job creation and retention and tax revenue sharing and declaring an emergency.
That's easy for you to say. We call it the job creation MOU, the job retention. I mean, there's a number of names for it, but the city, along with 26 other political subdivisions in Summit County, are signatory to this agreement. Focus is to create tax sharing under two scenarios. One, if the payroll of a new company exceeds a certain amount, or it's a certain amount of a community's total, payroll that they collect taxes on. Then if a company moves from one signatory company to the other, then you pay taxes on, or you share taxes on that. The other one is if the company is incentivized to move between two communities, you share taxes on that. This has benefited, I think, all signatory communities benefit by having less competition against each other to retain firms, allowing scarce resources to be utilized in more productive matters. And Akron has been no exception to the benefits. And the JPA, Job Preservation, called there, offers additional protection to the most populous and densely developed communities by dissuading smaller communities from incentivizing additional suburban sprawl.
Thank you, Sean Volman. Questions or comments? My only question is one, I don't want to know names or anything like that, but you say there's 27 communities?
I can give you...
Summit County?
There's a few that are not in it.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
Okay,
I don't want names or anything. Thank you so much.
Okay, I have them right here.
That's okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Consent agenda okay on this one? Or are they in a hurry on this?
Yeah, we are the last to sign. So if I was going to say if one of the three went on suspension of the rules, I'd prefer it be this one, but.
Okay, now is there's no substantive changes? Is
The
it basically
only
the
change,
same?
so as I said, there are two ways to trigger. One is incentives, the other is if the payroll of a company is over an amount of money. That used to be $3.5 million and has been since 2010, I think, when we first did it.
Okay.
And they upped that to $4.5 million. And then there will be a MCI type.
CPI or whatever?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Any further questions or comments from anyone whatsoever? Okay, is there a recommendation for suspension of the rules?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 6.
It's not me, I don't think.
This is, I think, Mr. Julian.
I don't think
Item number 6 is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Summit County Land Development Corporation, Summit County Land Bank, to develop a residential housing toolkit for future new housing developments in order to carry out the intent and purpose of programs under the Consolidated Plan for Housing and Community Development Programs for 2025, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Julian.
Thank you, Chair, members of council. We have been partnering with the land bank staff in order to develop this housing toolkit. It's been successful in several cities. There are 11 cities actively pursuing this across Ohio right now. It's been very successful in Michigan, Indiana. And so what we're doing is we're going to share the cost of hiring an architect to produce a handful of house plans for us that'll be available for free for people who want to build in Akron. As well as creating a sort of an illustrated guide to our housing standards so that we can more clearly convey the kinds of things that we want in the houses that we're supporting or being built on land that we provide.
Is there, just a quick question, is there, just thought of this, can we work with the county to expedite these if they need? I don't think they're even going to.
So it would be
the permitting process, I guess.
So what we're doing is we're going to, once we have the plans, we'll sit with building standards at the county, we'll sit with our plans and permits, we'll make sure that the process is very clearly conveyed, okay?
Yeah.
And then we will have, they will have, those two department, county, ours, will have looked at them, said, yeah, this is what we want, right? And then our hope is that they'll treat it like when a developer comes through, a production builder, and they build 40 of the same one, at the second one, they're like, oh yeah, this guy, right? And so that's the kind of thing that we want to have here.
Cool.
So it'd be quicker.
That's good. That's great. Good news. Cool. Questions or comments from anyone on this one? consent okay on this, or?
If it's
would you
okay,
prefer?
because we would like to figure out the last few details on our contract so that we can get the architect to work. We've got an Akron architect lined up here, so we're excited.
Okay. What's the wishes of the committee? Is there questions? Tina?
I'll
Boyce?
make a recommendation to suspend rules with a favorable report.
Okay, very good. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Very good. The ayes have it. Suspend the rules it will be. With that, we are now adjourned, the planning committee. That was easy, Mr. Volman, right?
Love it.
Our next committee today is the Public Service, Public Utilities, and Green Committee. Those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, Wilson, Bolden, and Lombardo. We'll give everyone just a moment here to get to their seats, and then we'll get started. Thank you. We're ready to begin the Public Service, Public Utilities, and Green Committee. Again, those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, Wilson, Bolden, and Lombardo. We do have all committee members present whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I'd like to move forward and call the Public Service Committee to order, please. We do have minutes to approve from last week, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of the minutes, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, well, thank you. We do have two new pieces in front of us today, and I'll have Sarah read in the first piece, please.
Sure. The first item under this committee is item number 7. It's an ordinance authorizing the service director or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids, utilizing purchasing consortiums, requesting and receiving requests for proposals, requesting or receiving quotes and/or self-performing work for the purchase and application of asphaltic concrete, pavement removal, riser rings, microsurfacing, partial depth resurfacing, and preventative maintenance for various streets in the 2026 resurfacing program, including alternates, approving specifications therefore and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. And we do have our Service Director, Chris Ludlow, with us. Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. Yes, this legislation is our annual road asphalt resurfacing program. As you can see in the budget, it's $6.2 million. This will allow us to do approximately 52 miles of resurfacing in '26. We look to bid this project next month, and hopefully, once the assessment process is completed, award this project sometime in April. That's when the asphalt plant's open. Part of this legislation will allow us to buy some of those things that was listed in the description, like riser rings. Those are for manholes. We purchase some of these things, so the contractor does not, and we have them on hand, no matter who the contractor is. And we also self-perform some of the preventative maintenance, like crack sealing, and that some of those funds come out of this also. So we look at streets that we've paved in the last couple of years, and to preserve the life of that newer asphalt, we go back and crack seal it to keep, obviously, the water out of there. And this time of year, you can see it with the freeze, thaw, freeze cycle. That's where you start to degrade the road. So this has been something that's been growing, or has been about this level since the issue 4 was established. So basically, I will take any questions, but just to reiterate, it's about 52 miles. We spread that out over all 10 wards. I think all of you have seen the list when it came out with the assessment legislation, but we are going to get the list to each ward member, specifically just for them, so they don't have to look through that big list, so they know. There is alternates built in there. We're always hopeful that with gas prices going down a little bit, that maybe we'll get a better than engineer's estimate, which will allow us to add some of those alternates into the project. But until we get the bid price, we stay with the base program, and then we will add alternates as they come up.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Chris. Committee members, any questions or comments for Mr. Luddle? Appreciate that. I don't see anyone.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, Councilperson Wilson has their hand raised.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Hi, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Mr. Luddle. Just a quick question. What's the funding source SA stand for?
Special assessments.
Special assessments, okay. And then one more, if I may. Is the allotment of tax of 1.5 million and then the issue for 3 million a typical allotment year over year?
Yes, I mean, the issue 4, is police, fire, and roads. Mm-hmm. But we do use some issue 4 for equipment also. So you'll see some of issue 4 in some of the other budgets, like for snow removal equipment or some of the other things, or resurfacing equipment. A couple years ago, we bought a mini paver, which allows us to do a few parking lots ourselves. So some of that goes to equipment also.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Councilman. Appreciate that. Any other questions or comments? All right, I don't see anyone, I believe. Okay, consent okay, Chris?
Yes, I mean, we have some time before we bid it, so even with the holidays, consent would be fine, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, it's up to you. Consent's okay? I forgot we're off next Monday. So
Motion for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Second.
All in favor of suspension of rules, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, we'll suspend the rules on that this evening. We have one more piece. If you could, Sarah, please.
Item number 8 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into an agreement or agreements without the formality of publicly advertising for bids with Lab Rep Co. LLC for the purchase of 2 new roll-in laboratory-grade refrigerators and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. Chris?
2 of our refrigerators down at the wastewater plant are 50-plus years old. We keep putting, funds into these to keep them running, and it's time to replace them. So these 2 these are only 2 of a few we own, but these are for wastewater testing. So we are mandated by our permit to pull testing every day, and then they have to sit in there and incubate between 35 and 43 days at a constant temperature. So this legislation This is a consortium price, state bid pricing. So purchasing went out and acquired the pricings for these. So basically, this just allows us to upgrade those refrigerators at the wastewater plant.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Chris. What will happen to the old refrigerators?
We'll demo them out. I mean, they're very much beyond their useful life, so.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions for Chris Luttle from committee members? I don't see anyone. Any other council members with us today? All right, I don't see anyone. Is consent okay on this one?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Motion for consent.
Second.
All right, everybody in favor of consent, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Well, that's our two pieces today. And with that, we are adjourned.
Our next committee today will be the Budget and Finance Committee, and it will begin at 3 o'clock. Those committee members are Lombardo, Amobian, Fusco, Boyes, and Bolden. Again, that's the Budget and Finance Committee, and it will begin at 3 o'clock. Thank you.